What's going on, guys? Clifton Denny here with On Your Own Outdoors, coming to you again today with another stand review. Today we're going to do the API Bowhunter. I'm fixing to go inside here, pull it out of the box. Now we're back outside. I'll say this, we're just talking about putting the stand together. It was super easy as far as nuts and bolts and stuff go. It doesn't come with any tools, so remember that if you get ready to put it together. Have you a couple pair of pliers. It's only 2 different bolts, so it's super easy. I actually didn't even tighten them up on this one because it's just the foot part. But anyways, it's on there just for the purpose of the video. So anyways, went to Bass Pro Shop today and picked this stand up. They're pretty reasonable. They're only 300 bucks. It's not real heavy. It's not real big. When you're putting it together, make sure you slow the video down on the part where I'm showing you how to run the foot straps back through to actually get them secure. All right, guys. So these are the foot straps. I'm gonna show you all this because I just messed with it for like 10 minutes to figure it out. So once you go around the 3rd rung on the bottom, you've got your loose end, so your rung will be in here. I tried taping this thing, so you've gotta get it back through this tube. I tried taping it, I tried putting it on a stick and going through. This is all you gotta do. You can see how this kind of pinches in a V here. If you'll take this loose end, put it inside of that pinch and then fold it over as you're pushing it through. It will protect that loose end basically. So this is it. It'll protect that loose end from sliding back out, and you can just itty bitty bit at a time and get it through. So there's that. That was the worst part about putting this stand together. We'll go ahead now and talk about as far as on your back goes. It's not a very wide stand. So you can see here, it's not very wide. I'll hold it in front of myself. It actually carries pretty well because it's got a smaller frame. However, one negative thing about this stand before we even start, I'm not a huge fan of the chains. I will say that I use some of the old API stands. You didn't have this, listen. So the inside of the chain kind of rattles a little bit, and it just seems like they went to like a lighter plastic. It does make this a whole lot easier to work with, but you can hear that rattling. Number 2 negative thing about this stand, back to pull pins. Everybody knows, if you've watched any of my stand review videos, I'm not a fan of these pull stands for this reason. They just make noise. I don't care what you do to them. I understand, guys, there are ways to kind of quieten that up, but I don't care what kind of natural sound in the woods does not sound like this. So anyways, they just kind of rattle a little bit. Other than that though, it seems like a very well built stand. Yeah, seems like a pretty well built stand. Seems pretty sturdy. I think it had a 300-pound capacity and it's like 24 pounds. We'll go ahead and inject right here, and up there in the top of the screen you can actually see what the actual specs of it are. We're gonna start trying to drop those on these, by the way, the specs, just so after you're done watching the video, you don't have to go search to figure out, hey, will this stand hold me, or how big is the platform exactly. We're gonna start trying to put those in. So I picked a hard bark tree that's right here behind me. As you can tell, it's not a very big in diameter tree. It's bigger than what it looks right here. Here, look. There you go. So it's not a very big in diameter tree, but the reason I did that is because these little bow hunting stands, again, I'm not trying to compare everything to a lone wolf, but the lone wolf is what I like to use. So in my head, whenever I'm doing these, that's what I am comparing them to. I'm just not trying to get y'all to. So anyways, sorry for referencing that all the time. It just is what it is. It's what I like to use. So we're gonna go ahead and start with this stand. The last video, y'all got me. I was a little frustrated while I was doing that video because food for thought, I had done the whole Summit Goliath video and then realized I didn't hit record. It was hot and I had to redo the whole thing. So I'm recording now, and so just for all you guys, you always put the top of your stand on the tree first. The top of your stand on the tree first. So anyhow, couple cool things this stand comes with. We always talk about security and guys wanting to feel secure. With this API Bowhunter, it's an open shot style stand. So it doesn't have a front on it. It's got the hand grips here, so you don't have to use your forearms as much. But That's this chain and these pins, just so you are aware. However, one thing that it does come with, we're not going to use them in this video. I'll put them on just to show you what's up. But once you get up and you get secured in the tree, it does have these two holes here, one there, one on this side. So if it's sitting on the tree like this, you've got a ratchet strap that comes with the stand that comes around. You can tighten that up with. I don't ever use those in any of my stands. I'm not telling you not to. If it makes you feel secure, guys, by all means, whatever makes you feel comfortable in a tree, use it. But one thing it most certainly does is makes this stand easier to pack. So it comes with its own ratchet straps. You can throw those ratchet straps on there, cinch it down real good, and hopefully get that chain in there so it'll kind of, you know, silence it up a little bit as you're going to climb with it. But like I said, it carries pretty well. It's not a very big frame stand, so that's a big plus about it. Another negative about it, it doesn't fold flat. However, unlike some of the others, it's not very thick across. So even though it doesn't fold flat, it is still flatter than some of the others. So anyways, we're gonna go ahead now. This is a little baggie. It's got your little deal here. You can wrap it around the stand and put it on there. I don't have it on there because I'm not gonna use it. But in this little baggie, if you wanted to use it, you've got your little ratchet straps that go on the stand there, and then for the other one, you got a little pull strap. So there's those two little things there to show you. We'll pull at least a little pull strap off here in a little while, maybe. I don't know. It is, I don't think you need to know how to see that, man. There's two holes on the bottom of each one. I showed you the top. This is the bottom. When it's wrapped around the tree, you get it where you want it to be. Run a ratchet strap from said hole on one side around the tree, said hole on the other side, tighten it down, and it gives you that extra sense of security. So there you go. That's as far as we're gonna go with those. So before we go to the tree, let's talk about this. This stand, I can tell you, it's got these little foot straps. Like I said, they're real pain to get to operate. As I say, sometimes they're not worth piss. However, if you decide that you don't like them, you can take them off, use it like some of the other stands like the XOP or the Lone Wolf, that you just turn your feet out here to the outside, and these little gaps you can climb up and down with it. So, all right, now for the bread and butter. We're gonna go ahead and put this thing on the tree. So we've got the top here. One cool thing about the top when it comes to the seat, if you didn't want to carry this seat, you don't want to climb with it on there, I'm going to. But it's the first one I've seen like this out of the what we've done, Summits, Lone Wolf, XOP. This API here has clips on the bottom. So once you get it set where you want it to be, say that you didn't want it to be in your way while you're climbing up and down the tree, you can undo these 4 clips and just take the seat straight off of there so it's not in your way. So I guess that is that's a pretty solid plus. So just like the rest of them, put it on your hip, bring your stand around, or bring your strap around. So as you kind of see there, I was kind of struggling with that. That thing's a real pain. I will say this, if you've never hunted out of an API, you will realize that the chains grip the tree really, really well. So I guess that is a little plus about the chain. The moving around through the woods with them, not so much, but they do grip the chain or grip the tree very well, and they don't give much at all. There's hardly any give in that. You don't get that springy kind of feel that you do with some of the other stands. All right, so we got the top on. Again, move your top up out of your way. Do y'all hear this? I don't know if you can hear that rattling. It's just that chain rattles, which is kind of surprising to me because I've used APIs a lot, and I don't know that I've ever messed with one that rattled like that, but all the ones I was messing with was older versions, and they had the black chain rather than this clear chain. So maybe that's the reason. All right, so you got it on the tree. It's good to go. You can go ahead, move this guy to where you want to get on it. Remember guys, I say this in all my videos, but just in case this is the first one you've seen, the only one you're going to watch, remember when you're setting your stand up on a tree to climb. I've got this one, as you can see, set pretty flat right now, and the reason for that is I'm going to do my video in this window right here. But remember guys, if you're wanting to go 15, 20, 25, 30 foot up, depending on how up you're going to go, the tree's going to get narrower as you go up. And so you want this set more like this. That way when you get up there and the tree's a smaller diameter, it flattens itself out. It's pretty self-explanatory. It's not hard to do. But with any stand, don't care which one it is, it's going to take practice. You're going to have to adjust it. So just remember that. All right, so we can go ahead and lower this thing down here. All right, so to get in the stand, just like the rest of them, grab the top, kind of do yourself a little pull up, get yourself in, get set. The feet part, work just like the other stands. Take this, move it back, get your foot inside of it, stick it back through that hole. Other side, same thing, foot in, move it back, this foot inside of that hole. No climbing with ankle shoes, hurts. All right. Woo, wife's gonna get mad at me. All right, so climbing with this one, again, you can use it like this, just like you do the Lone Wolf or the XOPs. Or you can grab here and do like a dip. Either way, I will say just doing that, it seemed like doing the dip was easier. Well, sounds like the neighbor's starting season a little early. All right, so we're gonna come back down, try to get back inside that camera window. As you can hear, it's a little bit of a louder stand, there's no doubt, climbing with it. All right, so now we get this again. I always use my kneecaps to set my top. It just gives me a good distance from sitting down. So if you think about it, if your knees are here and there's your seat, whenever you go to sit down, you're gonna have just a little bit of play. You'll be able to sit comfortably. Like most of these stands have the cushion come around, it's got some sort of strap. Clip it into itself and then just tighten it up. So I've got that actually, well I couldn't have done that again, that's actually pretty perfect. So turn around, send it just like this. Cool thing about this stand, hope y'all can see my feet. If not, we're gonna be in trouble later. Yeah, you can sit. So this stand has this little bar. It seems pointless, but any of the guys that's actually climber hunted, boy, this stand's actually really comfy. Any of you guys that were climbing hunted before will understand that little bar, just being able to adjust. You've seen that my feet came up, you know, a good 4 inches. That little adjustment in itself is huge. If you don't like it, you can flip it up, get it out of your way. But if you do, you can flip it back down and it's right there. Gives you a little bit to kind of play on. So let's talk about, the rest of the stands. Being able to shoot sitting down. Man, sitting like this, I mean, it's like second nature. You can most certainly shoot out of this stand sitting down. Don't forget, this stand, just like some of the other ones, the sitting climbs, you've got this sidebar, so that is most certainly going to affect you being able to shoot over the side. But out front, you're going to be able to do that. You can kind of turn yourself a little bit, be able to make those shots. Make sure if you're going to shoot while you're sitting down out of one of these stands, you're watching this handbar. That's what I'm going to call it. I'm not sure exactly what it's called, but it's where you can grab a hold of the stand when you're climbing. Make sure you watch that. Say you pull back here and that deer kind of rotates, he walks. You might think you're good. You mess around, get your cam in that, get it in between your string and your limb, something like that could cause some problems. So if you're going to use one of these, just make sure you watch out for that. As far as standing up out of it, maneuvering out of it. It's awesome. It does have like one of the smaller platforms that I know some guys don't like. I like the smaller platforms that actually fit my feet on. These actually fit my feet on them, but I actually kind of prefer the smaller platforms just because there's not as much sticking off the tree. But I will tell you, out of every stand we've done yet, this is by far the most comfortable. This API Bowhunter is surprisingly more comfortable than any of those summits I've been in. It's got a whole lot of cushion on this seat and a lot of cushion against the tree. The downside to that, we've talked about it before. I'm going to talk about it every time I get in one of these stands that have thick cushions. They're comfortable. A lot of them are easy to use. They make long sits a lot easier to deal with. However, the downside of them is they're going to hold scent. So just make sure, man, if you have one of these stands or something like that, I like the fact that this seat comes off super easy. And I'm going to show you, right? So I was talking about the seat coming off super easy. You unstrap it back there. On the bottom of this, you've got 1, 2, 3, 4 clips. And this comes off. So why is this a big deal to me? You can see the clips there kind of dangling. They're just little snap-in clips. So I think that's huge because with these big seats, I always talk about scent control, right? Well, if you have something like that, the big thing about that is I carry a scent away tote. It's what I keep all my stuff in. It's not an actual scent away tote. It's just a tote that I made that I just keep all scent proof stuff in. What's big about this is I can do whatever the hell I want to with that stand now. And I can keep my seat cushion and all in my my tote, so I can run my ozone on it, my camo dust, and all that stuff. So I can keep it dusted down, I can keep the ozone rolling on it, and it's going to take care of it. That's a huge deal because all the rest of these seats, you've got to rewind everything back through and all that. This one you don't have to do that. You just unsnap it, pack it away, and it's good to go. So if you had a big enough backpack, you could carry the stand just like this with nothing on it. Keep that in your backpack so it doesn't get smelly and such in the back end of your truck, and roll on. So we'll talk about some pluses and minuses. So first of all, we'll talk about the minuses. We always start on a bad note, say that every video. We're going to say it on this one too. So the downsides about this stand, the chain's kind of loud. It is what it is. There's no way around it. Using the chain, they have to use pull pins. All pull pins, they're loud. It's not hating on a certain brand of stand or anything like that. It just is what it is. If you're going to use a pull pin, they're going to be loud. Can you silence them up by taking your time and being really quiet with them? Yes, but if you bump that stand, it's going to rattle. It is what it is. If you're walking, I don't care how tight you got your straps on there, those little things are going to ching-a-lang, 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 right? So anyways, negative, it's got the clips. Other negative, they went to the thinner plastic. And that allows noise from the chain. You can hear it. I'm deaf and could hear it. Other than that, the only real negative that I actually have about it is how difficult it was to get the foot straps on. But now that you've seen this video, it's going to be super easy for you. So that's not even a big deal. I will say I'm super surprised at how well those foot straps grip my feet. I actually thought that I was only putting those on for this video because I'd end up pulling them things off and just using the frame. I was wrong. I will keep those on there. They're pretty solid. So that's a good thing. Let's see. Man, I think that's really all I have for negative. There's not a whole lot of negative about this stand. It's not super heavy. So I guess now we'll just swap over to good stuff, right? So is it heavy? Yes, it's heavier than some of the competitors, but it's not that heavy. It's not that bad. It's got a small frame, so it doesn't get all in the way. Again, it does not pack flat, so that is always going to be a negative with me because they've got so many different stands now that do pack flat, keep that weight close to your back. But it doesn't sit that far open, so it's not that big of a gap. You can see that there. It's smaller than a lot of its competitors, so it's not as bad. Is it still perfect? No, but it's not as bad. So more positives about it. I like the way the little hand things come out. If you're somebody that don't have a whole lot of core strength, you can grab up high and let those things kind of rest down your arm, and it makes climbing easier. The chain, the plus side of the chain, we already talked about some of the negative being loud, but the plus side about the chain is there's zero give. You know, some of the other stands kind of bouncy, can't get away from it. But that thing, when you're on a tree, it is secure. It is not going anywhere. It grips, it holds tight. And then lastly, awesome, is the foot piece. Having that little foot bar so you can flip your feet up. Whoever made this stand, kudos to that guy, because he's done some long sits and knows that, you know, you're sitting there on that and it starts catching along the bottom of your legs or whatever your seat does. Your feet start going to sleep or whatever, you can raise that foot bar up, kind of put your foot on it. It works out pretty good. So again, guys, pretty solid stand. It's less than 300 bucks, so it won't break. It doesn't completely break the bank. For what it is, it's a pretty reasonable stand. So if you're looking for a stand that's a little bit easier to climb with, super sturdy, and isn't gonna break the bank, seems like a pretty solid stand. Guys, that's all I got for you this week. Make sure to hit the like, hit the subscribe, click the little bell at the top. You never know, maybe we're gonna do a review over something that you didn't even know that you needed. So anyways, again, guys, this is the API Bowhunter. We'll catch y'all next time. Good luck in the tree, good hunting.